snacks and waters over there are free to help yourself if you like them.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is just a quick slideshow that I made last night. Hopefully by the end of it we'll all have Git downloaded and understand some of the basic commands and what it's used for and stuff like that. So I encourage you guys to follow along.
If I can jump in real quick.
Yes.
I'll lead off on this, the importance of Git/GitHub. So, last time we kind of very quickly and roughly talked about GitHub. I was a bit rusty on it because it had been a few years since I used it. So I might not have given it the attention that it really deserves, but this is really an extremely useful tool for you to know, just in the industry in general. Git is a type of source control management software. It controls the versions of a project. So you can, as you're working on code, you can save different versions. Like every time you save, it saves a version. And as opposed to just saving a file, it keeps a history of everything, allowing you to go back and see what you did, when you did it, exactly what changed. Git keeps track of things on a line-by-line basis, which is very useful for checking what you've done in the past. It lets you, as we kind of showed off before, branch. That lets you change your code without permanently changing your code. You can branch off, mess around with things over here without causing any real damage to the main program. And perhaps most importantly, it allows you to share your code and collaborate with your code, because you can, you take a version and somebody else on your team takes a version, and you both work on the code at the same time and making your own. You can save whatever you're working on your own, and then later, once you're both done, you can then merge it back together. Git isn't the only version control software out there, but it is the biggest and most prolific one. And so knowing how to use Git is kind of, it's not something we teach in a class, but it is something that a lot of software development jobs, I'd say most of them, are probably going to want you to know. And even beyond that, it's useful just for solo projects, just for keeping track of your own versions. And GitHub itself, Git is the version control software. GitHub is the website that lets you see things online. And GitHub itself is a great place to put all of your projects, because they're not only version controlled, but it's an easy way to share them, which is great for making a portfolio, and also collaborating and seeing what other people have done as well. So yeah, I really want to emphasize how useful this thing is, and so we're going to do it better justice today by making sure everybody's up to the same speed, and hopefully we can use it going forward on our own club stuff.
I read somewhere that it's like 90% of developers use Git on a daily basis. So I like to think of things in analogies. So probably most of you guys play games. Think of Git as like patch notes, like every branch that you create is like another patch note where, say the community doesn't like it, you could always revert back to different commits that you've done, and then we'll get to all the language and stuff later on. So we were talking about version control, and so what really is version control? At like the most basic level, you can see here it's just any kind of like documentation.
So that's from the video, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is primitive version control. So this is not Git. This is, you're working on a document and trying to save your work and keep track of what you've done. So you save it under the date that you made an edit, and then the next time you make a change, you save it under the date that you made an edit. And eventually you've got a folder full of the exact same file that you slowly created. And the only way you can distinguish them is by the date they were created. You have to sift through files to see exactly what changed and where. And also, I guess this kind of works if you're only working on one file at a time, but programming projects are not usually one file alone. And so trying to keep track of a shared version across multiple files very quickly becomes a headache. So this is an example of the problem that Git hopes to solve.
You can see how quickly and easily things can get like messy, right? Because if you can only include a date and that's like the only knowledge you have of what changes you've made. Imagine if you have like hundreds of these, and you made like small changes throughout. You don't know which folder or which document does what. So let's start with everyone or whoever wants to participate going to download Git.
I recommend following along with this. It is an extremely lightweight thing. You won't notice it, and it will be useful going forward.
I have
in your career.
I have a MacBook, so the way I downloaded it was different from most of you guys have Windows. From what I know, there isn't like a official. I mean, I guess this is like the most official. I think it's called Git for Windows or something. But just follow this link, and then it should be the first option.
Yeah. It is the official.
Okay.
The official thing. It's just it's a few more steps for Windows than it is for Mac.
Can you share that in Discord?
Yeah.
git-scm.com/downloads. The transfer page. Let's see. You said you were new. You're not on Discord yet, right? Let me get your.
I guess I'll put it in resources.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Oh, Zach, this is the guy I need to see. Yeah, I got some.
Oh, I had my presentation.
I'm not sure I can remember.
You got it. Yeah.
It's just rules.
Rules is one of them. So you have the full. These resources.
What's up, dude? Can you take a picture of this?
Take a look.
And then if anyone needs help,
Yes, anybody needs help,
let
just
us know.
raise your hand. They can always look up.
Yeah. Discord.
Oh, Discord. Yeah. Let me get that info.
Don't get chips.
Yeah, help yourself, man. After you carried all that water over here, stuff.
No garage.
I know you're hungry.
Yeah.
You're right now.
You're right. I can send them the chat.
Yeah, I just watched this. I don't know how you can get around that.
You're on the security thing?
Yeah.
I think I can just delete it.
Yeah.
Like the number.
Yeah.
I can just delete it.
No, you.
Is it the email?
once you've got it downloaded.
We can.
If you guys go to terminal, right, is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
To check if you guys already have Git on your laptop, you can just do Git version, right? And it'll either say you guys don't have it or you'll specify it.
I can't follow along. District laptop, they won't let me download it. Which is weird, because it's such a useful tool. I'm gonna have to ask IT. Anybody here know how to open up the terminal? Anybody here just does not, just to be clear? It's okay if you don't. Not everybody's done it before. Everybody who's following along getting it. Quick show of hands, has anybody got it confirmed already? Okay, a few more minutes.
Must have a lot on your plate if I'm reading right. 38,000 emails.
Oh, you guys gotta ignore that.
Wait, what?
38,000 emails?
You're the type to not clear the unreads.
No inbox zero.
Yeah, no.
Man.
I clear the unreads.
I used mine like a year ago, but it's getting back up there again. It's logging in now.
Fountain?
No. Why did I start?
Oh, we have one right there.
Oh, yeah, there's one, I think one of them, it's at the end, make a left, over.
Is anyone still working on it?
You get it already installed, and you can check on the command line, just git space version, and if it says you have any version at all, then you got it. If it says, this command is not recognized, then you don't have it. Personally, I actually, they've added tools for Git and GitHub to, like, they've added like user interfaces and stuff, type stuff. I think, we're gonna go through like the command line instructions, right? I honestly think the command line instructions are the most clear and straightforward when it comes to Git. So even if you're not used to working on a command line, most of this stuff will probably be new to you, but it's a bit of a pain to get all the user interface stuff working. And on the command line, there's kind of just cheat sheets for the, quick set of commands you need to do, and it makes it just quick and straightforward. Git was designed for, the command line. It's an old tool for old computers.
Alright, is anyone still working on it? Are we all good?
I've got Git version comes up with something.
Okay. Next step, we need the terminal, so be sure to have your terminal open. It's just basic configuration. So first thing that you can do is set your username, and then you just follow this line of code right here. Git config set -- global user dot name, and then quotes, and then whatever your username is, and then you do the same thing for your email as well. I'm not sure, is it case sensitive?
Probably. Let's see why it wasn't used. This is, Git is version control, keeps track of the versions and all the changes that are made, potentially between multiple people. This attaches your name to it so that people know who to blame when something goes wrong. And also your email, so they can reach out to you when something goes wrong. Nothing that harsh. Just setting the configuration so it's who you are.
Did you write this documentation?
No, it's from UC Davis.
They got like a data science lab
Yeah.
where they do lectures or workshops.
I guess now just keep your range, so, like, it has to be on hash set. For some active value.
Right. Once we got that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So, you can all press or type CD, and that just brings you to the home directory. Right? And then to initialize your first file, type git init, and then whatever you want to call the file. So
So for those of you who aren't familiar with file systems, CD means change directory. And so that's effectively, you're in the command line, you want to change to a different folder, leaving a space will send you to your home, whatever the home is.
and let's call it git workshop.
That
Alright.
is the git instruction.
And so now you see it says initialized empty git repository. If I do ls, which is for this, you can see I'm still in my home directory, so you need to cd into the git workshop. So now ls again, and there should be nothing in there, right, because we just initialized it. Another way you can check that is, this is a really important command that we're going to be using a lot, is git status. So you can see it says on branch main, no commits yet. We haven't done anything yet. And then you can also see, like how Gideon was saying earlier, it's very self-explanatory. Git will tell you there's nothing to commit. Once there is something, you can just use git add to create or add the files. So let's do.
Hold on, I want to slow down and go through those steps a little bit slower, just to explain them. So your initial CD, nothing after it, says change directory, and since you don't specify anything, it's going to send you to your home directory, whatever that is on your computer. If you do ls at that location, is it ls on Windows? It might actually.
This,
Yeah.
well, that shows what's in the folder.
Yeah, but is it on Windows?
Oh,
I believe it's dir.
Yeah, there is.
So on Windows machines, so if you just say cd, nothing after it, it should send you to your home directory. Then, if you're on a Mac, ls. If you're on Windows, dir. So it really is just Mac. It really is just ls for dir. And that tells you everything that's in the folder. You're essentially looking at your file system just from the command line. So if you cd, it's cd on both systems. Cd with nothing after it, that sends you to your home directory. You could ls or dir at any point to see, get a sense of what's in the folder you're in. Then there's that git init and then the name. So what that's doing is it's creating a new folder with a repository, or creating a Git repository right there.
So, one of the use cases is a Git is to, you can create, I believe you can create a Git, or if you already have like a folder, you can connect it to a Git repository.
Yes. So I need to.
No, I don't
I've got a cheat sheet here. So to connect to an existing Git repository, you use the clone command. So you can clone an existing repository and it downloads from the internet. So init makes this full-on new one, creates a whole new folder as well. So you say git init, and then the name of the repository / folder you want to create, and then if you then do your ls/dir, you should see in the list of folders a new one's appeared, which is the Git repository you created.
The question mark also work? It'll just tell you, like the command, if you want to look it up. If you're unsure if it's ls or dir, usually question mark works. Might also be the help, you just type in help.
The workshop that I followed for the Windows users, they weren't using their actual terminal, they were using Git Bash.
Yeah, so it's a little different.
Heck yeah.
I'm looking at a.
I'm a bash master, thanks. dude.
I'm looking at a Windows machine. I typed help and it gave a giant list of commands,
There you go.
including dir. I don't know how useful it is because it literally is like a two pages of just commands.
Nice. Well, after you read it a couple times.
So, well, either way, you do the init that
Yes.
creates the new folder. You can then, if you want, you can dir/ls and see, hey, there's my folder. It wasn't there when I did it before. Then you can enter it, and now you're in the folder with the repository. And you do that with cd again, change directory, but this time you say cd and then the folder you want to go into. So cd, in this case, up there was git _.
Slash three is,
No, the folder.
to indicate that, you're connected to a Git repository, there's a document file.
Yes, that's true. Not Git right here. All right, so we should all be in the Git workshop directory now.
What shit?
You're in worship?
Yeah, if you're there, you should be able to, you can ls or dir to see that it in fact is an empty folder. And you can do git status to
What's up, man?
see the status, although
You signed
since
in?
you just created it, there's nothing happening.
Thanks. And help yourself to
So the workshop that I'm doing uses VI. Is that for Windows as well?
I don't think so,
Okay.
because Windows is not Linux based.
I see.
To be real with you, we can just use Notepad.
Yeah.
We won't do it the command line way.
Yeah, so you guys can just create a new notepad.txt.
Yeah, so the next step is to just create a text file
Yes,
to
yeah.
put in the repository.
I'll be doing it this way, but
He's gonna do it the VI way, which is hard mode. It's dim. So to do it the non-VI way, if you're on a Windows machine or if you just don't want to mess with VI, what you can do is you can go find your Git folder on your computer, go to your basic, your home directory. It should be placed with all the folders that you saw, downloads, documents, whatever. You should see your Git repository there now in your file explorer. You can go into that folder and just create a text file. That's what our next step is.
yeah. Make a text file. I haven't called mine club_workshop. Make sure it has .txt afterwards. So this is what mine looks like. Yours is obviously gonna look.
Here's a taste of it.
So I'm just gonna make any message. Hello. Oh, okay.
Wait, does this work on Windows?
Hello.
This does
Fine.
not because it's Linux based.
You don't need it, you have a notepad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
way better than Fly.
This is text editing before the mouse. Like before there was a mouse or a trackpad.
I was wondering that because when I was messing with it, like you can't like.
Yeah.
click
There's
you have to use your arrow.
there's no mouse control. It is pure keyboard.
Did you get it?
So to tab, to move around, to tab, if
Bro,
you,
you're using
I don't know
your
how
mouse.
many of them exist nowadays,
I don't know
but
what
you will
that
see
is.
somebody who's a Vim master, they can move across the document faster than you could with a mouse and scroll bar. Like, there are, every single key on the keyboard gets
I don't
used,
know.
even like the ones you never touch.
I don't know.
So, it's an interesting text editor, but for our purposes, it might be a bit high level.
So what I
And also, it's not on Windows by default. You have to.
Main, bro.
It's built into Linux systems. Mac is a Linux system.
But it's the same principle. Just create a text file. I called mine club_workshop, and then write whatever you want on it. Make sure you save it, and then if everyone's caught up,
Give them a second. Anybody still creating their text file?
Yeah.
Exit, hit exit to exit, insert no
Oh,
context.
escape.
I'm not familiar with
Yeah, so
Windows.
you hit escape. This is complete logic.
I'm not familiar with the Windows file system anymore.
colon
Years
double
ago.
is right, and then
Is it cheating to use nano instead? Is that the easier?
Don't worry about it. Use whatever you want. So it's, if you're not in insert mode, it's :W to save, and W right, and :Q to exit. If you don't do the :W, it exits without saving.
What are we calling this? Club Workshop?
yeah, club_workshop.
You call it whatever you want, if you want to match what we have up there.
So now, if we do git status again, you will see a new message. It says untracked files. Use git add file to include in what will be committed. So,
Yeah, even though it is using the command line, it is very verbose about what's happening and what you need to do. So, yeah, this is the time.
here's a visual. Here's that. So, you can see in the 3 files, it just has 3 files, but I like to imagine it helped me kind of process what was going on. If you imagine there's like 50 files in there, and 25 of them are like, you want to move it to the next step, right? So that's what we're doing in this green shape cylinder. What git add is this just kind of priming the files and then grouping them together to see what we want to commit. And the commit is this rectangle right here. And so if you imagine we have 50 files in the directory, and then some of them we want to use, some of them we don't. So we'll just add the ones we want to use. So then we have this one, but we just git add club workshop.txt.
Yeah, so that the image showed the 3 stages. You have just your files system. This is just your folder holding the files. You edit them and use them like you would any other files. Like Git doesn't get in the way of like your programming system or your notepad software or whatever. So you just make the changes however you want. Then you say, we call this the staging area. When you add them, you're saying, okay, Git, I want the changes in these files to be prepared to save. You add all the files that you want to prepare to save. And then what this eventually is going to result in is something called a commit, which is where you actually save them into the versions. And in this image, they're saying C1 is a version, C2 is a version, C3 is a version, and C4 is the most recent version. sort of a, yeah, it's your files, you add them, you stage them, you say, these are the files I want to save. Then you save them, and then you rinse and repeat.
Yes, so we just added the club workshop. So if we get status again, we'll see on branch mains, no commits yet, but now we have a file that is ready to be committed. So if we want to finalize this commit, we just type git commit and enter, and then it will. Yeah, I'm not sure. What is
Something
it
on
showing?
Windows. What does it do?
Is it the same
You say
or is it similar?
add, and then you commit, and then it pops up maybe something like this. So I think this is div again, so.
Yeah.
Is it similar?
I don't know, dude, I'm not there yet. I'm just
It opens up the
doing
editor
dash command.
The
on Windows. It opens up
the text, the
the
notepad?
text editor. I'm using Visual.
Oh yeah, it just opens up the default text editing software.
Oh, okay.
So on his system, it was Visual Studio, but if you have your default software such as Notepad or Notepad,
So how would you write a message?
well, it's just a text editor. You type it in, you hit save.
Okay, cool. So just follow along, I guess.
Yeah, so you hit git commit, and it'll pop up text editor software.
So this is your commit message. It's common practice to be very as specific as possible, right? So this is basically like if you think about your coding program, it's like your comments. So it's what you're gonna read, what you're gonna remember as what you edited.
Yeah, so this is the message that's going to be added to Git as part of the versions and say, this version is tagged with this text. So you want to say something like, created the base text file and added text on the first line. I mean, that's probably about as verbose as you want to be. You don't want to just say, going from good to bad, you could say, created new text file with something in it. Created new text file. Added something. Like if you go back and you say, if you see a commit name and it says added something, you're going to be kicking yourself in the future when you're like, what was that? Especially if your program's like 20 plus files, 100 lines each. It's like, I changed something in one file. It's like, great, thanks.
Yeah, be specific. Include lines, like
Well, I was
if you
trying
made a
to
change
find
on line.
The convention is to be as verbose as possible. I mean, it's up to you.
Turn this into, I don't say edit, but like, so this is like the message you can go to Git Hub as well. When you push a commit, this message is.
That is what it is,
That's
yes.
your commit.
GitHub only controls a small amount of space, but here you got a whole file. Like, you can write a novel about the changes you made if you so desire. Of course, you don't need to quite do that. Like, you can just do one big long line, or maybe two, and then just save that file.
Yeah, so again,
Oh, and it explains the rules in the file itself. Any line that starts with a hash isn't included. They also have some sample text for you to base it off of. And yeah, so there's also the shortcut method.
yes, I'm going to
Go for it.
So now again, so I'm going to introduce a new command, git log. Let me make this clear. So now you'll see we're on the main branch. This is our comment that we just made, and then this is it's similar to like a key, right?
Yeah, it's a unique identifier for that one specific commit.
Yes. And then this will be important in the future when we have multiple files. So what we can do now is just make another edit to our text file. So I'm going to go back to my thing. You guys go back to your own.
Make a second edit. We're making a new version.
But the same text file.
Oh yeah, same one.
I forgot what I called it.
Was it
Club
Club Workshop?
I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, so add some new text to your file. We're gonna make a new version and save that. And we're keeping it simple with just text files, but this is the same process as code, you know? Write code and save it, and then add and commit. And then write more code and save it, and then add and commit, and so on.
So I said this is my second edit. Save that again. And then you guys can see again, there is a
Doing git status again shows the file again. This time it doesn't say new, it says modify. That's the change.
so we're gonna have to stage it again, right? So we have to git add club underscore workshop get status again. Now it's ready to be committed. And instead of going to the Visual Studio or whatever you guys are using, a shortcut we can do is git commit -m and then quotations, and then in these quotations will be the message that you guys want to write.
So this is the shorthand, so it doesn't open up a text file. You just git commit -m, m for message, and then a string of, double quote string of the message you want to include. This is actually, I think, the more common way of doing it because people are lazy and want to go quickly. But it has to be one line of text, and you can't put quotes inside of it because then that messes with the quotes. If you just say git commit, that's the full way. It lets you type as much as what you want, whatever you want. Git commit -m is the shorthand that you're just real quick type message.
So whatever you guys want to type in. Click enter again.
That's another commit, so now that's a new version.
So if we go back to git log, now you'll see we have two versions or two changes. And here's where this key might come in handy, because if we do git diff, this will show you the difference between the two changes that you made. So let's see, this was the first one that I made, right? So I'm going to copy this key.
Yeah,
into here.
it's a stack. So its top is the most recent, bottom is the oldest.
Copy the newest one. So it was git diff, and then one of the keys, and then the next one. And if you click enter on here, we'll see they make it into like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a slash and then b slash.
Yeah, it's showing you, A is one of them, B is the other one. They're showing you the actual differences between those two commits. That's what diff is, it's a difference list.
And you'll
So
see-
it'll actually list exactly what has changed between the two.
So this is exactly what has changed, right? We added the second line into our text file. So far, so good.
And we're only working with the with the one file so far. If you had multiple files in this project and you wanted to save multiple at once as part of a single commit, you could. You just add multiple. Git add this file, git add this file, git add this file. That's why the staging area exists, so you can add multiples. And then at the very end, single commit. Everything in the staging file gets synced. But it doesn't have to be every file. You can just save certain files.
Which is exactly what this shows, right?
So this isn't branching, this is something else.
Oh,
This is more advanced. But, I mean, it's kind of an idea, right? This is where the branching comes in, where we have, what if you want to make a change but not break everything? What if you want to try something experimental? What if you want to try refactoring the code and you don't just want to destroy everything? If you're only working with one file and you're like, I want to try rewriting this thing, and you screw up, it's like, okay, now I've got to hit undo for an hour. until I get my original file and hope that it lasts. But with Git, you can just be like, I want to branch. I want to create essentially a local copy of my timeline and make changes here. And you can save and you can do everything that you would normally do. And it's essentially a separate timeline. And at any point, you can just be like, okay, here's my experimental timeline. I'm not done with it, but I want to go back to the original. And whoop, you're back. And you can see the file originally before you branched. And in fact, you could make changes to it, like branching timelines and like that. So that's what this image is showing off. It's showing the creation and eventual merging of two separate timelines where, branches I should say, where different features are being worked on. So original, the main, not main, master. The master branch is what it's called. The master branch is the main one. So we have the master branch starting here, and then they're saying, you know what, we want to try adding feature 1, and so we're going to make some changes here, feature 1, and this is just a temporary commit, and then, okay, here we're going to finish that. We saved again. This is the finished files. And your master branch is unchanged. And while somebody's working on this, somebody else comes along and says, I want to add this other feature. And so they branch and make the feature 2 branch. And so they have their own branch, which is based on master. Doesn't have any of the changes here. And so they're just making that new feature based on the master branch. And then the guys working on feature 1 are like, okay, feature works, it's good, merge it back in. Now that feature is part of the master branch. And then the people working on feature 2 are like, okay, we did it. We're going to merge it back in, and it goes to the master branch. And this is the ideal version where there's no conflicts. So when feature 2 people go in to merge, it just kind of works.
So this is like what businesses will do with like different teams working on different areas of, you're the front end, you're the back end.
Exactly.
The UI, whatever.
Exactly. Or even, sometimes even different people on the same team that are working on different things.
Like passion, right?
Yeah, basically. It's essentially, well, the patch notes is only what we see on the end, like as the players. We only see the final thing. But when the development team is working on the game, when developing the patch notes, making the changes, you don't see them make the changes inside the game in real time, right? They have their own copy that they're modifying, and then eventually they merge it back in with the public version. So that's effectively what's happening. Like, green line is what the player sees. The pink and the blue is what the development team is making their changes, saving their changes, making sure it works, and then eventually pushing it out to the public by putting it back on the grid.
How do you avoid collisions? Say if feature 1 and feature 2 touch the same file, so feature 1 commits,
I think we'll
let
get
that change?
I think we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Git
there's-
is smart enough to figure that out. Well, Git is smart enough to know and say, hey, these files, there is a discrepancy. You both changed the same line in 2 different ways. Git will literally say, when you try to merge, it will say there's a merge conflict. File 1 says this, file 2 says this. Please go in and edit it to either be just file 1 or just file 2, or maybe you have to reconcile and write new code to merge them both. Git will actually pick out, like I said, Git tracks things line by line. So it will say, these specific lines present a conflict. Just fix these lines and everything else is fine. So you have to fix it by hand,
Yeah.
but Git will pick out exactly what you have to fix.
It'll tell you that there's a conflict, but you have to choose which one you want to delete and which one you
Yeah.
want to keep.
I think we'll probably get to that in
Yeah.
slides, maybe. If not, we can certainly, I can certainly walk through it.
So let's check out branching now.
Yeah, let's make a new branch.
As of right now, right, if we click git status, we just have the one branch main. So our tree is just like that one.
It's not really a tree, it's
Yeah,
it's a stick.
Yeah, it's a stick, big stick. So if we do git checkout dash b, the dash b creates a new branch, and then after that is just whatever you want to name it.
The name of the branch.
You want to name it.
So, yeah, checkout is how you change branches. The dash B flag says the new branch I'm going to is the branch I'm going to is a new branch. I'm making a new branch. So check out this new branch.
So I'm going to call it version 1. So you can see switch to a new branch, version 1. So now if we do git status, you can see we're not on main anymore, we're on version 1.
And if you say just git branch with nothing after it. That shows you the branches with the asterisk next to the one you're on. So there's 2 branches and you're on version 1.
So another thing I wanted to show off, if we create a new text file, so a separate text file from the one that we made earlier, call it something different, make a new text file in the same directory, but a new name.
New text file. And what I want to say, another thing as you guys are doing this, everything that we're doing up to this point, this is all just local on your machine. This is just Git for your sake of Git. We haven't actually, it's not on a server somewhere, we're not actually on GitHub. This is all completely local, which is a perfectly valid way of using Git if you just want it for yourself. If you're not actually going to share your code or collaborate with anyone, you can just have Git for version control. So we can talk about how to actually get it out onto GitHub and collaborate.
All right, so once we finish making that file, do the same thing we've been doing, right? So git add or whatever your file name is. And then commit it. So everything's good, right?
What happens if you say git log here?
Yes. So you guys will see something interesting. If we git log, you'll see the head is at version 1, and we have that text file in here, and we still have the main 2 that we created. But if we now type get checkout main, this will bring us back to our main tree, right? Or our main branch. And now if we do git log, you'll see that, hold on, let me clear this. You'll see that we only have these 2 files now. And the one we just created isn't here. Even if we do ls, like the list, we only have this one text file. Again, if we go to git checkout, what is it called?
I don't remember the names of the branches. If you don't remember, say just git branch, and it'll list all of the branches.
True. Git branch.
Version 1.
Git checkout version 1. If we do ls here, you'll see we have both the text files. And the reason behind this was the branching visual that we just showed.
2 separate timelines. This is where your branch is with the new file. Your main branch, technically the most recent version is still back here before you added the new file. So it's, I mean, they exist concurrently, but the branch is actually one commit ahead. You made a new file and committed. Main's still back here. Master is still back here. So, and you both exist at once. You could switch between the 2. Git keeps track of that.
If you guys watched Infinity War, it's like when Doctor Strange hit, you know, different timeline.
That's what's
Yeah, into one network.
So now we will, let's see,
merge.
yes. So let's go back to git checkout main.
When you say merge, you are on the one you want to merge into. So if you want to go to main and when you say merge your branch, it'll merge the branch into master. You don't want to be on the branch and then merge master into you and get rid of master. So you want to be on the one that is the final one and merge the one that you specified into that.
So imagine the version 1 branch that we made was all good. Everyone approved of the changes, and you want to actually merge them together, put them into main. The way to do that is git merge version 1. And you will see, fast forward, you added, right here it's saying you added this text file. One insertion, one file change. Now, even though we are on, even though we're on main, if we ls here, you'll see we have both text files. And yeah.
So you merged it in. So now it's effectively a new commit on master, but all the commit does is bring in all the changes that were on the branch.
It's pretty, it seems like it's pretty, like there was no problem. Are you sure?
There was no discrepancy here. There's no conflicts. So it was like, okay, we're good. Yeah, that's something you gotta work out, you gotta watch out with when you're working with text line stuff. Git is kind of nice when it's asking like, hey, do you want to help with this stuff? But on command lines, usually they assume you know what you're doing. And so they're not gonna, it's not like Windows where you want, every time you want to do something, it's like, are you sure? Yes or no? No. You say merge, it's like, done. You got it, pal. Merged. If there was a conflict, we'd see something different. But in this case, there wasn't. So we just merged. And where it said fast forward, there's actually, if it's able to automatically merge, Git will just do it. And there's actually 2 ways it can do it. One is an actual proper merge where it takes changes from here, and just meshes them together and both changes exist, well, there's no conflicts. The other one's a fast forward, where this branch was kind of just a future version of this. Like we didn't even have any new commits, it was just make the new branch and it's a purely future version. So they called it a fast forward because when it's like, oh, this master branch is just going to kind of fast forward to be the same as what the original branch was, what the other branch was. Now,
I just wanted to show off something real quick. They do have like official Git cheat sheets. So if you guys,
multiple.
yeah, it'll show you everything. More advanced stuff. If you want to show the merge conflict, I didn't have one.
Yeah, we can do that pretty easily. Here, let me just double check.
Hey bro, can I get your Addy on the LinkedIn?
So here's a detail where when you merged, the branch still exists, right? I forget how to get rid of the branch.
Want to go to all your Git workshops?
Let's not worry about that. Okay, let's do
force delete a branch.
Well, you can force delete. I'm pretty sure.
Or you can delete a branch.
Yeah.
Git branch -d.
I'm pretty sure there's a way to merge and also get rid of the branch that was merged. Because you know what? Sometimes when you merge, it's like, okay, the new branch no longer needs to exist. It's being merged. So, is there a? I'm sure there's a way to wash it in a call. Squash it. Okay. I don't think that's quite right. Either way, but I'll look that up in a second. Let's look at a merge conflict. So, in order to, first we're going to have to manufacture a conflict. So, it's a good thing we have 2 branches. Let's work with the 2 branches. So, go to your main branch and go into one of your files, doesn't matter which, and let's say add a new line and say something like that. Then, commit that, switch to the other branch, go to the same file and add a line in the same place but add different text. So it's essentially you're adding a new line in the same file in both branches, but it's different text. That's what's going to artificially create a merge conflict. And then commit that as well. So go ahead and try that. It's going to,
But in my example, I'll be using the clubworkshop.txt on the third line of type something. Save that.
Make sure you add it. There won't be a conflict if it's not a real change. So you would commit in one place and then and switch to the other branch, add a line, do a commit there. So you have both branches essentially. But here's what we want to manufacture is
And then remember to switch between branches, git checkout and branch. So this is the same text file, same line, third line. It's something different. I'm on version 1 branch. So we have to add it, commit it. Let's go back to checkout main. And now, right, if we get merge.
yeah. So now if you try and merge the two branches, if you artificially create a conflict, let's see what it looks like.
Content, merge conflict, and clubworkshop.txt.
Yeah, so it tells you, hey, there's a conflict, merge conflict in that file. Automatic merge failed, fix conflicts, and then commit the result. So if you go look in the file, you'll see something new has been added. So it'll say, it'll have the little line of arrows, one way and the other way, and with the equals in the middle. So the top is the branch you were on, and the bottom is the branch that you were trying to merge in. And it says, okay, here's one text, here's the other text. Fix the files so that it only has one or the other, or something in between. So ultimately, now you have to fix the file to see what you want it to be. You actually fix the file the way you want it. So there's no special buttons or anything. So in this case, looks like Daniel is just resulting in that one set of text. But you can resolve the merge in any way that you want. So you can delete all but the one, you can delete all but the other, you could delete both and write something new in its place to try and reconcile. Either way, you get rid of the little arrows and equal sign.
But you have to do this in both places.
Nope, just the one. This is saying, this is what the resulting file will be. So just create it here, this is what you want the result to look like. So in this case, it's just text, right? Just pick one or the other and write something. If it was code, you have to be like, okay, here's a conflict. Whichever one we choose, does the code still work either way? So resolving merge conflicts is, can be a bit of a wild goose chase as you try and figure out which code will work, which code doesn't work, which one should be the true code. But once you've got it, you just save the file, and it'll commit the one that you have.
Does it automatically commit? Or?
No, you trust ASCII. Yeah. So you have unmerged paths.
Do you have to add it again?
Yeah, so add it again. All conflicts fixed, but you are still merging. So except it tells you, all conflicts fixed, but you're still in the process of merging. Do git commit to conclude the merge. So you fixed it, you tried to merge it, you fixed it, it tells you, okay, all conflicts fixed, do another commit, and this will actually complete the merge, whatever text you specify.
And then in the message, for the commit here, at least in the video, he was also very verbose in that he said, you know, we decided to go with either this version or whichever one you guys chose, and then you fix the merge conflict. And after that,
And now that you've committed, the merge is complete.
so
Yeah, so now, if there were any, now the only changes that you made were the ones that created the conflict. But let's say you made, in one line, in one file, you added one line, and in the other branch, you added 5 lines. Well, only like that first line is going to conflict. So you fix that merge conflict, and then the other lines are automatically just brought in. So it only, it doesn't try and conflict everything. It only conflicts specifically which lines are not the same. So you just fix those, and everything else will just hopefully work.
and I know text files are kind of like,
Simple.
yeah, but there is a lot of use case for this. You know, like I just recently found out or learned more about Git, and before that, before when I was working on programs and stuff, I don't know if you guys did the same, but when I didn't know what was going on, I would just like comment out large blocks of code. And say you're trying to, say you gotta like pick up the program another day and you're trying to see if this block of code was what was creating the bugs in the program. This is where Git becomes useful, where you can create that snapshot and then come back to it if what you thought was making your program break was not what was making it break. But that's all I have prepared for the workshop at least.
Just confirmed it. Git does not allow you to merge and delete all at once. I guess that could potentially create problems. So what you do is you merge and then you delete. And to delete a branch, just to be clear, it's branch dash D. So git branch dash B for branch creates one. Git branch dash D for delete gets rid of that branch.
Oh, man.
There you go. Now, I guess we should, I know that's not part of the slides, but I guess I should mention something about, this has all been local on the machine. Let me quickly talk about some of the stuff for working with remote systems, working on GitHub itself. So there are a couple of extra commands for this, particularly push and pull. So all of this is happening on the local machine. And as you are writing your code, let's say you're starting your code, you're writing it, and then you can make multiple commits. You can make some changes, commit, make some changes, commit, make some changes, commit. And eventually you're like, okay, either I'm done, or at least I'm done for today. And it's like, okay, it's time to upload all my works to make sure that the online server has all of the changes that I've made. So that's where you would push. Now, you can't push online if you haven't created it online to begin with. So, give me a second. it'll ask you for your GitHub, login, and it'll push it to your GitHub, assuming you have a GitHub account. I think that may work.
Just git push.
Yeah. Yes. So, double check the.
Says no configured push destination.
I see. You need to create the. You need to create the repository on GitHub first, I believe, or I guess. It's been a while, I'm gonna be honest. This one wasn't in the video. Once it's linked, it's all pretty self-explanatory. You just push and pull and it just does it. It's linking it to begin with that I'm hazy on.
Cut off. What? Are we gonna break off into groups today?
Well, I was planning on having a discussion and then seeing if we want to just really break off or work on something together. Did you see this one?
Okay. If you create a repository on GitHub,
Yes.
if you look at those bottom
Oh, because
instructions,
of,
push an existing repository from the command line. There's the instructions. So it's git remote add origin, origin being the name you use for the base, and then the URL of where you're going to put it on, which is your Git repository. It's automatically there. Then you go to your main branch and you push your branch. That dash U is for, what is it for? It's an upload. What does it stand for? Let's just look at it. Upstream. Yeah, it is upstream. So it stands for upstream. It essentially tells GitHub that you're now tracking it locally. So that essentially it links the repository with your current with your local repository, so that you don't have to specify the names every single time. You can just say push and pull, and it will automatically do it. It'll know where you're going. So if you do that and you push it to your repository, then you'll be able, first of all, you'll be able to see it on GitHub. Whenever you push from the command line, it will, you'll be able to see it on GitHub. So
Pretty good. Did you get pushed?
I crashed.
Both of you working?
I crashed already, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already merged in. You're on the timeline?
yeah, so then you push. So the sort of the Git workflow, when if you're not working purely locally, if you're doing something on Git, the workflow is typically you boot up your computer, you're about to start working, you start with git pull. That says get anything that's on the repository and make sure I'm as updated as possible. So you say git pull, I'm now updated. If you're working with other people and they make changes overnight, whenever you weren't working, you pull, you now have all the most recent changes. Then you do all the stuff that we talked about today, make changes, add commit, make changes, add commit, do as many local commits as you want. And then when you're ready to share your work, you then push and you say, okay, here's all my changes, send them to the server. And it will update everything up there with all of your commits. That's sort of the, as you call it, the workflow.
And then, so once you share your work, do other people choose which commits they can pull from, or is it all of them?
Well, once you have all the changes, you push them onto the GitHub repository. It's everything that you worked on. It should hopefully fully update. Now, of course, just like we have the branches that can branch a timeline, you can have multiple people working for the same repository branch a timeline, where you pull, they pull, you're both the same, but then you both make changes independently. And this is even worse than just code changes, because now it's literally a branching timeline of commits from master itself. And then you try and you push, the first push is fine.
Well,
And then you push, and it's like, oh, now you have alternate histories of the same branch, of the master branch.
Surely they work on separate functions, right? That's the whole point.
I mean,
of functional programming.
there are ways to merge it as well. It's just
Yeah. Because like if
That's
they're just
why-
making changes to different functions.
yeah. I mean, that's why the whole branching system exists, so that you can hopefully avoid conflicts whenever possible. So, since we're not going to be, since it's harder to show off examples of collaborating with others with the push and pull today, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds with it. But certainly, as we're doing stuff in this club, if we end up collaborating and using GitHub for that, I mean, just short of 1 million resources for explaining how to collaborate on GitHub.
I think we should just use the Google Doc that we set everyone permission. Then you just modify it right there in the doc. And I think it'll track it too, right? We'll have version control using Google.
Not that good, it's alright.
It's got version control.
It's got, yeah, but it's nothing good, it's not that good.
Not good to get.
So that's the
Bro, that's
basics
smart.
of
But why
GitHub.
bother when you get it?
Frankly, that's enough to use it on your own for just your own purposes if you're working solo. It does take practice. I mean, I'm a good at case study. I did know all this stuff before, and it's been a few years, and even though it hasn't changed, it just took a bit to remind myself. It's like riding a bike. You'll remember it eventually after you fall down a few times. That's not how I'm saying it.
Do you think they'll have like a web page that'll just do all this stuff? You just type your code into GitHub and push a button, that'll do the Git pull and Git merge.
I mean, that's the thing.
Right?
They've
It's really on the way.
They've added so many tools for UI applications for GitHub. There's something called Lab that I'm still not super familiar with. There's all sorts of ways you can interact with Git and even with GitHub. And that let you do things all over the place. But it's all built on the premise of Git, which is just the version control stuff. Okay.
But yeah, that's the workshop I have prepared. So next, thank you.
We did it.
That was great, man.
Maybe you can also share the video on Discord. I only
Yes.
did it on the
I think that was the best one.
we can use our own reference resources so that if you guys want to go to our primary sources, it's useful. And of course, if you just Google GitHub cheat sheet, like again, there's going to be millions, but any of them are going to have all the basic instructions that we covered with it, explanations, status, add, commit, log, that kind of
But
thing.
again, like, you don't need it. No. But I'm not in the GitHub class.
Who's the Discord mod?
I don't know if we ever had anybody officially elected to it.
No, no, someday.
Did anyone else want to like take a position?
Discord mod.
Is anybody interested in the officerships? We filled all the main positions, but we're always welcome to help.
Yeah, now's the time to get in, we're getting Letterman's.
Yeah, we're getting Letterman?
Yeah.
He is really on that.
It's gonna have a city logo on the back with like a panther, and it's gonna have glasses and typing on it.
He's gonna have our dude there with like a
Now
laptop.
with a pencil in his mouth or behind the ear or something, I don't know.
I'll get those resources on this.
Next.
Only for officers, so you gotta.
Yeah, did anyone want? No? No one? Okay. Next in business, I wanted to hold a discussion about what we wanted to work on as a club for the next few foreseeable weeks. I did want it to be project-based, but we are open to suggestions and project ideas. So we held a officers meeting last week, and we came up with a couple ideas, just 4 projects, and whether we wanted to all collectively work together on a project, or we wanted to like break into groups and see what projects pique each group's interest. That's completely up to you guys. For example, I know some of you are interested in like a C++ project, but some others are into more like SFML or HTML. One of the ideas that I had that I thought we could all collectively work on was a personal website. So we would, as officers, be teaching the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and try and create like a template for you guys. And then you guys can go about customizing your own website, putting like your portfolio or whatever you guys want to do. That was just one of the ideas. I don't know. I'd like to get some thoughts though from anyone.
What projects are you guys interested in?
Give me more.
So, I mean, I talked
What's up,
about,
robot?
Daniel just said when we first
Did the
pulled this,
makerspace finally
there's
free?
high interest in C++, apps.
You remember.
They had the idea of personal
Keep that
websites,
to
using
yourself.
HTML thing, but we try and get something inventable that you could use and add to.
You just missed the workshop. That's sad.
Those are the ones
Daniel
that
was
are
counted away.
immediately in our ideas. But
He's official certified
we
Git.
want to make sure we're doing stuff that you guys are interested in. So what kind of stuff do you guys want us to prepare? We don't have to work as one giant club. If we have like 5 or 6 people interested in C++ apps and 5 or 6 people who want to work on their website, we can accomplish that. So we're interested in hearing what you guys would like for us to focus on in the coming meetings.
We can do personal websites. We can also work on, if we wanted to stick more as a collective, we can also work on like an actual programming club website. I know that's been in the talks. But if you guys didn't want to do websites at all, if you guys would rather, I don't know, it's completely up to you guys.
So for the website, we would have to learn HTML or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, we cover basic HTML, CSS, have some examples, that kind of thing.
Yeah. For the whole site. Do we have a lot of HTML heads? We got a big web heads?
Bro, Alex is such a heckle.
What?
So,
Web
so we'll
heads.
get, first of all, anybody brave enough, have an idea and is brave enough to share it that they might want to put forward?
Yeah, no, I could.
Yeah. Is it?
I could do an app using C++ and SFML.
Yes.
Yeah.
Using SFML.
Because we have the bone. So it's like you guys saw the B game and what it can do. Well, like you can just turn that into an app. It can draw to the screen. It could render
It's
a
honestly,
B.
it's honestly, if we were going to go for a C++ app, that would probably be a strong choice for.
You could literally take that B game and make it an app. It's that easy.
I mean, I like the idea of the programming club website because it's not only
Did you sign in?
collective effort, but it kind of gets back to the college.
I got you, too.
Put on the college, and, you know, presumably links on the college website for no business.
It would have to be unaffiliated, right? It's like.
No, we're asking about real outlets to use SEC. So, I don't know if we, I haven't asked if there's like.
What are you working on?
The SEC site probably.
Build a robot arm tomorrow.
But if you look at the club, you're allowed to use the real SEC branding. It doesn't have to be affiliated. We could. You think it worked?
Yeah. No, I have the idea where everybody makes their own MySpace page. So each student makes one page in the style of old MySpace. And we put all those pages together into a website. The SEC club, it doesn't have to be a real picture, you can use whatever.
Let's gauge some interest. I want to see hands up. The straightness of your arm determines your excitability.
Oh, boy.
For how excited you are about a club website or personal websites. HTML stuff.
What is a club website like?
We get to decide that.
Yeah.
What are personal websites?
We have some old mock-ups. Club website was the very first idea that the very first club website came up with.
Nice.
So we have some very old mock-ups or some ideas that
Are we gonna use React or?
we're not going to use React. That was the mistake we made the first time. So we'll learn basic HTML. We don't need to go more advanced than that. HTML.
What about
CSS.
Jade?
So I saw most hands up right there. So I think that's got some good interest. I think we might decide to focus on that. Probably following this week with basic HTML, CSS workshops, so we all know how to put something on a page. And then once we've got the basics down, then we can, talk about, okay, now that we know how to put stuff on the page, what do we want to put on the page? Our club website, look, what pieces are made up. And then we can get to design.
You got 2 batteries of like $20.
Work on the website?
Well,
You guys
They're
have
like-
any
I think they're
other ideas that you would?
11, 12.
Same way
They felt like
gauging
20
interest.
when I
What, how much is the interest for, trying to figure out how to do a C++ app?
Yeah.
I'm seeing less,
No,
not none, but
the
less.
the C++ is blinking.
How many people are against both ideas?
Against
They
both
want to
ideas.
see something else.
against what?
Both ideas?
What ideas?
The app and
Vince
the
Vaughn
website.
on posting.
The app and the website? I mean, against it?
Yeah.
Yes, we were asking who was against it. We're hoping to get no hands, which we did. So, yeah, we can focus on web stuff, HTML and CSS, basic
Thanks, sir.
websites. Those are fun. And you don't need a.
It's like, I gotta go.
When I write HTML, I like to use Notepad++. So that could be fun. I mean, are there?
I'm just curious, when we do it on like GitHub, there to share.
Yeah, I mean, so Yeah, as for the club website, and for the shared thing, certainly, we could do it on GitHub. So I think that would actually be a great way of doing it. That's what I was thinking. So we'd probably do a workshop, just getting everybody up to speed on the language.
You think that every semester?
And then, well,
Every semester, we're gonna build that website, we're gonna put it on GitHub.
yeah, it's an idea that's been floating around for a while. The idea has been around for a while, but our original ideas were really hamstrung by some bad design choices. I think going just with the basics, we haven't really tried. It is really bad. So, yeah, and I think we get everybody up to speed on language, and then we can make the club repository, get everybody in on it. At that point, we can talk about, okay, everybody's on the repository, here's how you pull and push, so we can see how all that goes. And you can try making stuff. And the cool part of that is, since it's the club repository, everybody's like, make your own branch, add whatever you want, show it off. If it's cool, it goes in, we merge. That kind of fun stuff.
Gideon's hiring us all as engineers.
I do not have the funding.
Nonprofit.
Oh, speaking of which, I was asked if we want more funding. Anybody have any funding ideas?
I've got some ideas.
Yes, please.
I will say, the funding that I'm talking about would come at the earliest next semester.
Can you
So it's
say
future
from
ideas. I'm not talking about getting it like tomorrow. So if somebody has an idea, if they're gonna stick around, what they might wanna do in the far future, or has just ideas for cool stuff that they would have liked to see, just let me know.
Robot dog. Everyone's got to have one.
Robot dog.
Would you guys like to open the club up to like online meetings as well as in person too? That's another idea. What is you guys thinking on that?
Virtual join option.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like no one's gonna care.
I
We're
mean,
gonna raise
I mean,
his hands who wants to tune in online.
I mean, it's kind of a selection bias, because everybody who's voting, if we hold that to a vote, it's all the people who are here. But at the same time, I think the people who are here are the ones who have the most voting power. So, yeah.
These guys are 1865.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other ideas? Just like random ideas, it doesn't have to be something.
There are no bad ideas.
I have one, I randomly stumbled across,
so now I have
ARC's STEM newsletter, and they have a campus map app that is interactive.
Oh.
And you can select a start location as a Dropbox, and then end location. And it tells you the quickest way to get between those.
How does it do it?
I have
You
no
go to
idea.
spots? What's the algorithm?
But if you look at ours, very outdated, I would say, so that's another idea that you can do.
You say it's outdated, but it's updated from this year.
Oh, really?
This is, if you look at the.
This one?
Oh, it's this
Yeah,
one?
it is recent, it is just a PDF.
No, but if you go back to the wayfind one, what does it do when you pick two locations? I wanna see it.
Yeah, that's what I meant by giving back to the college.
Yeah, you gotta find the what you
Oh,
call
see?
it.
Oh,
STEM
yeah.
building.
Yeah, how'd they do that? We can figure out how they did that.
Yeah, how's it?
We could
doing
call them and
that?
ask how they did that.
I also wonder if this is.
Well, it's a bee tree probably, right?
Was that?
I wonder if this is something that club made.
Could be that.
You guys didn't take this at 4:30?
Yeah. I'll be at ARC tomorrow.
I imagine there's probably some data structure stuff going on.
Isn't there a pathfinding algorithm that you guys did at
Yes.
4:30?
Yes, I don't know which one, but there is definitely one.
Yeah.
Finds like the shortest path.
I mean, that could be fun, if you guys think that's a super cool thing to do.
Yeah, bee trees, baby, that was on the board.
Yeah, it's basically.
It's all about.
Oh, yeah.
Calculate the shortest path.
I have a question. You know how on Google Maps
You don't,
you
you're not
have
gonna
like
touch it, I know.
my updates
I mean, it's probably functional, but not really, you know.
of like
Then,
How hard is it to like
Judge their settings. Yeah, that's GPS. I mean, there's probably GPS applications that we can take advantage of, but yeah, that's GPS at work.
Can you do the algorithm on the board, maybe anything? Can you get it?
Yes. I don't know exactly what they did, but I can take a good guess.
How many locations are there, like 5 or something?
What do you want?
How many locations?
There's a lot of
So,
Really?
So I don't know exactly how they did this specifically, but what I'm thinking is they have internally like a graph. And for those of you who haven't taken 430, you might not understand the graph idea, so I'll just try to draw one. A graph of points all around, well, the actual internal data structure would just be, not actually visually displayed.
Is that a link tree or they're nodes, right?
This is a graph.
But it would be nodes.
Yeah, so these would each be some kind of a node, and in this case, they probably have some kind of weight representing the distance between them. So, like, I don't know, 10, 25, 3, 16, 20, 30, 2, 3, 6, 14, something like that. So, just graphs with the distances between them. I forgot one. 45. Distances between them. And you say, okay, all those, that drop down, they just said, okay, this node is that position, this node is that place. And then you say, okay, well, what's the shortest route from here to here? Using the weights. The way I've drawn it here, you might think, oh, 1, 2, but no, 25, 45. They probably went, I'm guessing, the way I would do it is I would go out with a measure and say, here, this graph point represents this place on the sidewalk.
You can just count the steps.
Yeah, this graph point represents this place on the sidewalk. The weight is the distance between them. You make that data structure, and then you just say, okay, if I want to go from here to there, what's the shortest route? Just follow, that's where you get the actual algorithm. Find the shortest route, 3, 2, 6, there you go.
Dijkstra's or whatever, right? Which one?
I don't know what the algorithm is for a weighted graph, but it's something like that.
Dijkstra's, I think, right? Because it has to calculate the steps, right? They'll try to do the cheapest for step first, right? They'll do the 25, then the 3, and we'll get the 3's cheaper. And I think you just abandoned the 25 route, the first run?
Depends. Well, that's the thing is we figure out the algorithm, that in the club activity, figuring out how it works. But the actual internal structure I reckon is manageable. I reckon every point between two straight lines in their little walking diagram is probably some nodes. So node here and here and here and then way up there. And then every time you see a corner, even just a slight one, it's probably another
Wouldn't it be
node.
easier to just do a node from each just location? Like you don't have to do multiple, just
Well,
each location.
But
distance
the
from-
distance isn't just, you're not traveling across campus as the crow flies, you're following sidewalks.
No, it's like each building will have a way between the two connecting buildings, and that's all you need. You don't need to calculate smaller
You
nodes
could,
between.
but what if, but then the only way to travel, let's say, from one building past another to the next, would be to specifically go from the entrance of this building to the entrance of this building to the entrance of this building.
Yeah.
If you instead have a node for every point on the sidewalk, you could navigate down the curves of the sidewalk.
But it's like, if you look at the map, it's literally doing that, I think, because it goes from first building to library,
Yeah,
down to
but it's
whatever
not,
the quad thing,
but
and
it's
then
not
from
a
the quad thing to the other map is just one route.
but
There's
it's
no other
not,
route.
but it's not a straight line. I reckon every turn is its own node. Every time the line is not going straight, that is a node. Notice,
I think each one of those, but like, so those aren't nodes. I think the only node is the parking one and the bottom one. Those are the two nodes.
no,
And
there's.
that's just the path between
No,
them that
there's,
automatically plots.
I reckon there's like hundreds of hidden nodes in this. I reckon, and it's finding the nodes between them, and then it's,
Did we contact the RC?
I mean, again, this is just how I'm envisioning it in my head. I don't actually know.
But this would be cool, I mean, this works on mobile too, so students
Who is
finding
interested in my amazing math idea?
In this idea.
Yeah.
I mean, this would tie pretty easily into club website. It's like, club website has linked to this, but although this would be its own.
Yeah, did you register for this?
I mean, we could do this independently as well. This is-
Plus, it's good recognition for the club. Hey, the club made this. Use it.
Wow, somebody can build a database of all the steps from building to building.
Basically. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, we would get ourselves.
Because you would have to
Get out your tape
yeah.
measures, walk around campus at any point.
You should just ballpark the steps.
I mean, that's ultimately the thing, is you can't do this from an office chair. You gotta walk around campus to get the data. But that's fun. We'll do it in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this could be a pretty fun.
Maybe you could approximate it, it won't be an exact resource for.
Well, yeah, we could also approximate from that.
Can you right click and find out what wasn't written in? We'll
Is this a
SDK for like.
spec source? Is it just HTML JavaScript? That'd be scripts.
Can we open on one of the scripts?
Yeah.
Build layers, I
It's probably all
guess.
JavaScript.
Just put different data on the maps.
Unless somewhere in there it's linking to some internal database, which it could be.
But it doesn't look like a free.
It might just all be in, oh, you know what, it probably is all JavaScript because I see a canvas. So it's drawing this, it's drawing it real time.
What?
This is all JavaScript.
More applications. Oh, see.
Yes.
Yeah, they started with that. See, that's what they started with. Our campus has those things too, PDF for parking lot.
We'll be a pretty good project to put on your resume, wink, wink.
This could be a fun thing.
So we settled on a project?
It seemed like there was a lot of interest in the HTML at the very least. I want to gauge again, how many people would be interested in not necessarily the club website, but this specifically being the next thing we work on.
What is this, a
I'm
map?
seeing a lot of
Yes,
interest.
got it.
We're
Doing a map. for them.
Interactive.
I reckon either this or a club website. Seems like it's a
As long
You brought that up a long time ago, now you're dropping it on us, Gideon?
We could get some, like, project managers or leaders, somebody who's interested in